Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the comments. What are we doing today? We are looking at Choose Me, BAND-MAID, comment section. So we have those loaded up, ready to go. We're going to dig in just a minute. Real quick before we do, don't click away. Or you can click away. You already clicked away. Whatever, I don't care. Links in the description if you want to support me and the channel further. There's a link to the Patreon over there, so you can go and support me. Because, you know, most of my content can't be monetized because I use other people's music, copyrighted content in my own content. So I don't make any money off the videos that I do, unless they're like this one where I'm not using other people's content. But most of my reactions are purely not monetizable. So you can support me on the Patreon if you want to help support improvements to the channel. Look, I'm not in the earthquake zone anymore. I figured it out. I figured out how to do it. So there you go. If you don't want to do that, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That helps. Drop a comment, like the video. All that stuff helps. Pump up the algorithm. You know what to do. And super thanks are active on the channel and this video specifically. So if you want to throw money at me, but you don't want to click links to do it, you can just do that right here on YouTube. So there you go. All proceeds help to keeping me and my family alive. And whatever's left over is for improvements to the channel and projects that are like, all of my projects are on the back burner right now. But they're still there. Don't miss, like, I don't, you know, I don't give up on shit. So I'm still working on the video game that I've been working on for like almost 10 years now. So just because I haven't talked about stuff in a while doesn't mean I'm not working on it, thinking about it, and doesn't mean that I've scrapped it. Okay? All right. Greylock 100 up first says there's another version from their Yokohama performance where Psyche takes the reins and plays and performs this song herself. Oh. Accompanied by her. Oh, she plays piano. Oh my goodness. I need to hear that. I need to hear that. Unfortunately, you can't post a reaction to it yet as the performance is still behind a paywall, but creator is a creator is it glorious and beautiful. Boop. Ah, oh, I'm psyched. I can't wait for that one. Rocky at 70 says the Miku Psyche vocals are tight in the live versions too. Boop. Have to check those out. Tlanmas says, I can't remember from the live whether they both sang in the beginning, but from just the studio version, it seems like Saiki-san singing solo and mono, but mixed post as stereo. Yeah, and that was one of the things. That was one of the things. It's like, is this done in post, or is this like harmony between, you know, Psyche and Miku? It was tough to tell in the studio, so it sounds like maybe that's what they did for the studio, where it was just like they mixed it a stereo in post, and then for the live versions, maybe Miku takes over the harmony for it. So. Music Mike 747 drops a comment and says the second song I heard from them after Thrill. Oh, you went right from Thrill to, whew, solid songs. Oh my god. Does BAND-MAID have a bad song? They don't, I don't think. At the time, I didn't hear half of what I hear now. Typical BAND-MAID. Typical BAND-MAID. Konami's guitar work is underneath, as usual. For guitar fans, it's frustrating at times, sure. Knowing she writes music of her own, much of her own music on piano, it is possible that her lead guitar parts mirror her right. Is it possible that her lead guitar parts mirror her right hand? That's some astute insight. I think it is quite possible. Simply coloring the underlying chords, wild guessing. I think probably it is. Probably it is. Konami loves tremolo picking, same as Carlos Santana. I made that connection early on. She also relies on octaves a lot. Also easy to miss here, but at the end of her outro solo, the sweep picks for an entire measure. She sweep picks for an entire measure. She's a maid. Of course she sweeps. Wild. That's right. That's so right. John, you claim this solo is your favorite so far? Let's see how long that lasts. It's true. It's true. It still holds the record. Because there's so much attitude and just like heart in it. Yeah, but we'll see. Here are two wildly different BAND-MAID songs, each with Konami solos worthy to challenge. Daydreaming, official music video. Fate, live if you can find it, or just the studio version. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Daydreaming's been on my radar for a long time. Fate has not been suggested nearly as much, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Interstellar Dave, Mirage 2, I still say it's one of her best solos, if not the best. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Steve Hall 5128 up next says it's almost a shame that the consensus is live BAND-MAID is even better. I mean, it's true overall, but that's more to do with the energy levels, new arrangements, and the band having got comfortable with the song. But there's no way one can hear all the nuances and details of the studio versions at a live concert. I mean, I'd agree with you maybe if you're at the live concert, you're probably going to miss some of that detail. But with the way that they mic and mix and master audio from the concerts, I think I'd push back on the assertion that you're going to miss details from live performances. You might miss it if you're there because you don't have the mic and the mixing and mastering that happens afterwards. But there was a time when bands used to record live, and that was just the way that it was done. So it's not like they've always recorded their parts separately and then edited them in post. A lot of times they would record as a band, so it was like a live recording, and you'd still get all the nuances and what have you. So I don't know. My thoughts. That said, I'm really glad they used backing tracks in concert because I think it would sound thin in comparison to the jam-packed studio tracks. To put it another way, I'm glad it's not just 4 instruments and 2 vocal tracks on record, and that they try to replicate that full sound live. Boop! No arguments there, complete agreement, so appreciate the comment. Tom Clark Futora up next says the way Miku and Saiki manipulate and sing the Japanese language makes for great R&R lyrical cadence with an authentic soulful feel. Choose Me is a great example to hear that clearly. But the fact remains that if groups like Rush, had they been from Germany for example, Ginger and The Warning sang in their home language, Ukrainian and Spanish respectively, I surmise they would be less than half as popular as they are or were today. It is a real serious barrier. I don't disagree with you. Again, I don't mind it since BAND-MAID's music and vocalization is so fulfilling, but I think it's delaying BAND-MAID from reaching the international big time. You know, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I might be wrong. I'm hoping that because they include English more and more in their lyrics, maybe they can have a mega hit with only 50% English. But, okay, I might disagree with that. But how much more of a hit would Daydreaming be if it was originally sung in English? Thanks, John. Boop. Appreciate the comment. And I agree to an extent. My thing being, though, that, like, remember Gangnam Style? Like, that was all in Korean, and that was an international smash success. Like, it was played on the radio and over here. Like, that's wild. So it's not that like the language barrier is insurmountable. It's just about connecting with the audience in a way that resonates stronger than the language barrier like prohibits. I disagree though with the assertion that including English lyrics will make their songs more palatable. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think specifically for Japanese it's weird At least for me personally, like if I'm listening to a song, I want to hear it in the native language, right? I don't need English like shoehorned in there to try and capture. It feels inauthentic, if it's just shoehorned in there to try and like capture more, a larger percent of the audience or bigger percent of the population. I think what we're seeing though, is there's an opportunity for I think we're missing the scaffolding or the foundation for them to be a massive success over here. But I also think that more of that scaffolding or more of that foundation has been built than maybe we realize. And I think it's just a matter of time before, they smash through that barrier. And I hope that they do it with their artistic integrity intact, that they don't sacrifice who and what they are just to reach a broader population. I hope that when they do have that cross-cultural smash hit that shakes the world to its core, that it's authentically BAND-MAID and that all of us can listen to it and say they've earned this. This is the shit. With no but they don't really sing in English or what? No caveats, right? No caveats to it. So, and I actually think it's possible and maybe closer than we realize. Let's see. Doremonobita 2730 up next says, Mr. Tom, don't say that. That's something everyone understands, but there's nothing we can do about it. For example, compare Floor Jansen, Jansen? I forget how to say it. A native Dutch speaker learning English and singing in English, and Psyche, who grew up in Japan and had no specialized education in English, learning English and singing in English. Unlike Floor Jansen, who sang from Dutch to English, it is virtually impossible for Psyche to achieve the same expressiveness in English as when singing in Japanese. I don't necessarily disagree, and I already gave you my thoughts on that, so... Love Bites songs are all written in English. You know what? That might be what it is. Like, the Love Bites, they're all in English, but I find myself wanting the songs to be in Japanese. It's like, it's a little thing. It's a little thing, and it's not that I want the song to be in Japanese. I just wonder, like, what would this sound like in their native language kind of thing. I think it would be more powerful if it was. He goes on to say, vocalist Asami is a complete native Japanese speaker with no professional training in English, and she lives in Japan. However, she sings all of Love Bites songs in English. As a result, their vocal expressiveness is considered to be inferior, for example, to Floor. I don't know about that, but I don't know enough to argue either, so... however, the playing ability of the other members of Love Bites is equal to or better than the members of Nightwish. Again, different bands, different objectives, different aims. So, I mean, we're comparing apples to oranges a bit, I think, but I don't know that I could argue. As a result, though, Asami's vocal skills are not weak. Her vocals have become Love Bites' weak point. Okay, all right. It's not even I think it's more the lyrics than anything. It's not the vocals. The vocals are wild. Like, she's amazing. She's an amazing vocalist. Linguistically, the English words used in BAND-MAID songs up to and including their album Conqueror belong to loanwords. It is a word commonly used in Japanese society, where English education is compulsory for from elementary school onwards, and that sentence is an English sentence that any junior high student can understand. Currently, BAND-MAID has a large number of fans overseas. The songs after Unseen World frequently used English sentences that were more complex than those used in previous songs and required translation for Japanese middle school students. I think it would be possible for BAND-MAID to have one or two of their songs with all English lyrics, though without training. with sorry. 1 or 2 songs with all English lyrics with thorough training. However, I think that the current percentage of English lyrics is at its limit. That I agree with. That I agree with. But I'm a purist in a lot of ways, so like if you're I don't want you to sing in a different language as like your permanent thing. I want to hear your expression in your own language. If I were to dream, if BAND-MAID were to perform in the UK, I would like them to cover Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. All in English, of course, because I think Konami is Jimmy Page. Boop. Appreciate the comment. And Tom Clark Futura says, interesting, thanks. Boop. Closing out the little mini comment thread we had going on there. So, appreciate the comments. Up next, we gotta wrap this up here soon, right? Brent Laurie 4111 says, if you want a real treat, check out their song Moratorium. That's been on my list for a while too. Yeah. The best version is found on Bilibili. This is my favorite song of theirs. It is always a live version and is very different from anything you have heard from them. Enjoy. Moratorium. Live version on Bilibili? All right. We'll see. We'll see. No time for that today, but Alan Stamper 4345 up next says every song they do has multiple layers and little touches where they do things differently, or yeah, like little wrinkles we call them, or something you don't expect, and it never seems out of place. That's true. It never does. Nothing ever feels shoehorned with BAND-MAID. Most times when people play with something standard by tweaking it, well, it just comes off badly or obvious or out of place. Saying Konami is a genius is easy. Getting the scope of how good she is, it's like being a pro race car driver and then coming up against Michael Schumacher, or being a physicist and then meeting Einstein. She is so far above the standard with what she writes, it's incredible. Then add in the genius of the rest of the band members on top of it. That's BAND-MAID. Boop. No arguments, man. No arguments. Appreciate the comment. Thanks for hanging out. And Null8603 up next says, a few reactors have said that you listen to BAND-MAID to become a better musician. Did someone say blues or jazz? Misa, hold my beer. Boop. Yeah, I can see that. Listening to BAND-MAID to become a better musician, but also a better composer. just better all around artist. You could probably even become a better dancer by listening to BAND-MAID. I don't know. Just making shit up at this point. Up next, Paul Reed 4886 says Konami's songwriting and arrangement skills are what puts them head and shoulders above Japanese female bands, and honestly, most bands. When you pile on all the talent from the other 4 girls, it's a done deal. Best hard rock band on the planet. That is a bold statement, but I can't argue it. I can't. I haven't been able to. I haven't found like a band that's very clearly better in the hard rock domain. For proof, you only need to watch their performance at Chicago Lola Festival. They nailed it. Boop. Appreciate the comment, buddy. Me 26A1, I guess 262A1 says, this one was played at most of the 2023 shows, and it was the show closer in Hong Kong. I loved Mincho's sweep picking. They played You in Houston, and that sweep has a much more aggressive, almost violent feel to it, in my opinion. Boop. Yeah, there's still so much I don't know, guys. There's still so much I don't know, and it's so fun. It's so fun to be doing this with you. Like, if I were on my own, I would have bought all of their albums and probably I would have learned shit on the guitar too by now at this point. I would have tried to. I've tried to learn a couple of things, a couple of licks or whatever, but I gotta get my electric guitar set up to really do it justice, and that's, I gotta pull that out of storage if I'm gonna do that. I did get some like cool pedals for Christmas though, so I'm pretty excited to dig into those. Oh, also, how was your Christmas? I forgot that, people, I don't know. This is like a fixed point in space-time when I come to record these videos, so it's almost like it doesn't... I don't know what I'm talking Up next, Boca Tampere says, Konami. Her guitar playing is so tasteful. She is the special one. I love that comment. Great comment. Thank you. No arguments. David Misa Cook. Up next says, Misa. Oh, buddy. Boop. You keep me young. I don't know why. She's my favorite. Ray Ramat up next says, hey, you could always post a first-time reaction and a second-time listen reaction to BAND-MAID songs. And I'd happily listen to what you have to say in both videos. You're spot on when you say it's not like listening to BAND-MAID songs, and you get it. You don't. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Zero Teaser Zero up next says the live version is even better, but Konami takes her role as lead guitar very seriously. When she's composing the song, she is only going to play the rhythm part twice, once for the demo and once for the record. After that, that's Miku's job. That frees Konami up to do all the little fiddly bits of the song. She isn't going to reinforce the rhythm part with Miku. Fair enough. Unless the song calls for that, which is maybe. But that'll be very seldom. Agreed, probably. She has the best rhythm section in the biz that can do that. But that's rare, too, because Misa plays lead bass. She does. She does, indeed, play lead bass. It's ridiculous. And she's often playing low in the mix. Some of her parts are almost subliminal. And people will complain, the lead's not loud enough. Oh, no, you missed the point. I used to be one of them. But I've learned that she knows what she's doing. She'll turn up when it's appropriate for the song, yes. Composer is quite correct. Misa usually writes her bass parts on the piano so that she doesn't get in a rut. Interesting. I think I knew that, though. Konami may be doing the same thing because who plays like that? Fair enough. Boop. Appreciate the comment. No arguments. Parker up next says, you're absolutely right about depth, especially in the mid-2000s pop rock subgenre that Choose Me would fit perfectly into. That's kind of what it is. That is kind of where I was like, the Blink-182s, Good Charlotte's, fucking, God, blanking on all of the other ones, My Chemical Romance, kind of, like, all of those, like, pseudo indie pop punky kind of, like the Green Day stuff, But they're not. Like, I think Akane's kick drum work alone puts them in there, and just, it's insane. I actually can't get over how insane her kick drum work is. It's just, it's a thing of its own. He goes on to say, those songs don't have this sort of depth, nor do they have solos that shred anywhere close to this. Yeah. Boop. Appreciate the comment. Graham Reed 8774 up next says, hi John, I've become accustomed to your reaction style and really enjoyed this one. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. You often only see Psyche singing in a music video, but live you get to see Miku covering her with the same lyrics as backing vocals. Yeah. That's cool. I want to see him live real bad. Konami composes as if she's composing for an orchestra. Layers that are sometimes working together, bass lead, vocals, or all independently. Konami definitely has a bluesy soul and is everything to this band. Boop. Appreciate the comment. And right you are, sir. Jim S. up next says, yeah, that sounds like Miku and Psyche vocals at the start, like in Blooming. Konami's dual solos are wonderful. Look at Blooming. I think we've done that one yet. Her first one here is one of the longest for sure. Boop. Appreciate the comment. There's still so much to do. There's still so much BAND-MAID to get into. That's good. It's a good time to be alive. Falcon Sooner up next says, really great analysis. Oh, thanks, buddy. Love the sweeps in the last solo. Boop. I have to go back and listen to it again. Kevin6059 up next says, good explanation of the flat versus major seventh. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes I get into descriptions and I feel like I'm a little bit over my head. And I'm just like, I kind of understand it. Here's what. Yeah, so it's good to know that at least one person got it. Jefferson Cosgrove, 1910, up next, says there's definitely another vocal track under Psyche in the intro. Singing the unison melody 1 octave down. Yes. Not uncommon for them in a verse. Boop. I guess it just adds a little bit of like weight, like fleshes it out a little bit. Jefferson Cosgrove also says, definitely got to check out the solo on Unfair Game. I've seen Unfair Game a lot, so that's definitely on my radar too. Might be Konami's longest or close to it. I think 22 bars of pure sickness. Boop. Ah, it sounds like fun. Oh, I want to go do it right now. User CV8XY8JY5L. I don't know why I read all of that, but I did. Says, I really enjoy and appreciate your reaction. Oh, thank you. Your statement will make many Konami fans smile, as few people admit that Konami continues to put in so much effort behind Psyche's vocals. Thank you. Boop. You're welcome. Thank you for the comment. Oh, that's it. We did it. We made it to the end. We're all done. We've got to the end. Well, I guess that's going to be it. That's going to do it for this one. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, let me know in the comments. Drop another comment on this video. And, you know, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. Check out links in the description if you want to support me further. Yada, yada, yada. I don't even know what else to say at this point. You should know all of it. But I know a lot of you aren't even subscribed. So that's, I mean, that feels nice. But, you know. I get it. So, fucking, you know, go do it. Love you guys. We'll get out of here.